Jack Harlow maneuvered through the bustling lanes of the Grixar market, a vibrant tapestry of alien cultures and technology that sprawled as far as the eye could see. His companion, a tiny earth puppy named Spark, trotted alongside him, his small size drawing curious glances from alien passers-by. The air was thick with the scent of exotic spices and the hum of alien dialects, creating a symphony of the unfamiliar. As Jack paused to examine a stall adorned with luminescent crystals, he felt a tug on Spark's leash. Looking down, he noticed a trio of Utherin, towering reptilian traders with scales that shimmered like polished armor, gazing at Spark with amusement. "Is that creature supposed to be a pet?" one Utherin mocked in a deep, rumbling voice. His companions laughed, a sound like gravel rolling down a metal chute. Jack smiled, lifting Spark into his arms. "Yes, this is Spark. And who might you be?" The lead Utherin puffed his chest, standing taller. "I am Thraz, and these are my associates, Gorse and Lek. We are traders of the finest war beasts in the Utherin sector, but this," he gestured at Spark with a dismissive wave, "is no beast. It is barely a snack." The other traders snickered, eyeing Spark with evident disdain. Jack's smile faded slightly, replaced by a calm, measured tone. "Well, Thraz, Spark here is more than he appears. He's clever and brave, and he's traversed galaxies just to be here today." Thraz snorted. "Clever? I would like to see your tiny creature do what our war beasts can. Perhaps a demonstration is in order." Jack's eyes sparkled with a challenge. "A demonstration, you say? How about we enter him in the upcoming intergalactic pet competition here on Grixar? It's the perfect place to show off what he can do." Gortz, a slightly smaller Utherin with eyes like molten gold, leaned forward. "You would pit this morsel against the galaxy's finest predators. This I must see." Lek, the quietest of the trio, his scales tinged with blue, added, "Yes, let us see if your faith in this creature is justified. The competition will prove if it's worth more than a laugh." Jack nodded, setting Spark down, who wagged his tail, blissfully unaware of the stakes. "Very well. We'll meet at the competition, and we'll see just what a tiny earth puppy can do." As the Utherin moved away, their laughter echoing through the crowded market, Jack knelt beside Spark, scratching him behind the ears. "Looks like we've got some proving to do, buddy. But first, let's get you ready for the big day." Spark barked, his tiny frame vibrating with energy, as if agreeing to the challenge. Jack stood up, his gaze sweeping over the throngs of aliens. "First stop, training supplies," he murmured, and with a confident stride, he and Spark plunged deeper into the market, ready to prepare for an event that would test not just Spark's abilities, but the very perception of Earth's canine companions among the stars. The morning sun cast a warm glow over the Grixar market, as Jack, Harlow, and Spark made their way through the bustling crowds. Spark's leash jingled lightly with each step, drawing occasional glances from various alien species, intrigued by the tiny earth puppy's spirited walk. Jack's thoughts were focused on the upcoming intergalactic pet competition, where he hoped to prove Spark's worth against the galaxy's most formidable creatures. As they passed a cafe filled with chattering patrons, a familiar, deep voice called out to Jack. Turning, he saw Thraz and his companion seated at a table, their large frames making the furniture seem minuscule in comparison. "Ah, the brave little puppy and his even braver owner," Thraz exclaimed, his voice booming across the terrace. "Come, join us. Tell us how you plan to embarrass yourself at the competition." Jack approached, a polite smile on his face. "Good morning, Thraz. I was just taking Spark here for his training session. Every competitor needs to be prepared, after all." Thraz chuckled, his eyes glinting with amusement. "Training? What can you possibly train that creature to do? Our beasts have been bred for combat, tracking, and survival. They are warriors." Gorse leaned in, his muscular arms crossed. "Yes, what does your puppy excel at? Fetching sticks?" Jack set Spark down, who sat obediently at his feet, looking up with bright, attentive eyes. "Spark is more than capable in many areas. He's quick, intelligent, and has a keen sense of his surroundings. You might be surprised at what he can do." Lek, observing quietly, finally spoke, his voice smooth and calculating. "Perhaps a small demonstration, then, before the competition, just to give us a preview of this keen sense. Jack thought for a moment, then nodded. All right, let's have a friendly test. Do you see that item vendor across the street? He pointed to a stall adorned with colorful fabrics. I'll have Spark retrieve a specific item from the vendor without any guidance from me. The Utherans looked at each other, smirks spreading across their faces. Very well, Thraz replied. Let's make it interesting. Fetch that small red scarf hanging from the third hook. Jack squatted down, whispering instructions to Spark. The puppy's ears perked up, and with a quick bark, he dashed toward the stall. The Utherans watched, their laughter subsiding as Spark skillfully navigated the crowd, reached the stall, and after a brief pause grabbed a red scarf in his mouth. The market crowd paused to watch as the tiny puppy made his way back through the legs of towering aliens, scarf in tow. Spark returned to Jack, dropping the scarf at his feet and wagging his tail vigorously. Thraz's eyes widened slightly, a mix of surprise and respect flickering in his gaze. Impressive, he admitted grudgingly. For a tiny creature, he certainly has spirit. Gores nodded, his previous mockery replaced by a thoughtful expression. Perhaps we underestimated the little one, but the real test will be at the competition. There it will take more than fetching to win. Jack picked up Spark, smiling proudly. We'll be ready. See you at the competition, gentlemen. As Jack and Spark left the cafe, the Utherans watched them go, their expressions thoughtful. Thraz turned to his companions. This human and his pet, keep an eye on them. They might just be the dark horse of this event. With newfound respect from the Utherans, albeit still tinged with skepticism, Jack felt a surge of confidence. He knew Spark had much more to show, and he was determined to ensure they were prepared for whatever challenges the competition might throw at them. The days leading up to the intergalactic pet competition were a blur of activity. Jack Harlow devoted each moment to preparing Spark for the variety of challenges they would face. Their training ground was a secluded area on the outskirts of the Grixar market, away from prying eyes and curious onlookers. Okay, buddy, today we're focusing on agility. I want you to be quick but also careful. Watch me and follow, Jack instructed, setting up a makeshift obstacle course using crates and hover panels borrowed from local vendors. Spark watched intently, his tail wagging as he awaited the start signal. Jack gave a nod, and the little puppy burst into action. He weaved through the obstacles with surprising speed and precision, his small size allowing him to navigate the course with ease that larger pets couldn't match. Good boy, Spark. Now let's try the intelligence test, Jack said, switching setups. He arranged a series of boxes, each containing a different scent marker. Find the one with the synthetic trillium scent. Go. Spark sniffed diligently, moving from box to box. After several moments, he pawed at one box more insistently than the others. Jack opened it to reveal a small piece of fabric infused with trillium, a common but complex scent used in these competitions. That's it. You're doing great, Spark, Jack praised, tossing him a small treat. As they practiced, Jack incorporated commands that were more complex, combining tasks to simulate the multitasking needed during the competition. As the sun began to set, another human approached the training area, a fellow competitor named Milo Thatch, known in the circuit for his highly trained, albeit temperamental, Grovian snarler. Jack, that's quite the routine you've got him on, Milo remarked, eyeing Spark with a mixture of curiosity and skepticism. Jack wiped his brow, offering a tired smile. Hey, Milo, yeah, we're trying to cover all our bases. The competition's tough this year. Milo chuckled, scratching his snarler behind its massive ears. I've seen what those Utherans are bringing. Impressive beasts. But your Spark's got something special. What's your secret? It's all about trust and understanding, Jack explained, watching Spark trot over to join them. He might not be the biggest or the strongest, but he knows I've got his back, and I know he's got mine. Milo nodded, watching Spark with newfound respect. That could just be enough to get under their scales. Good luck, Jack. Thanks, Milo. We might just need it, Jack replied, turning his attention back to Spark. All right, let's run the course one more time before we call it a night. As they continued their preparation, Jack felt a growing sense of pride in Spark's abilities. Each command followed flawlessly. Each obstacle overcome was a step closer to proving themselves in the arena. Underneath the light of Grixar's twin moons, Spark's form darted back and forth, his movements a dance of light and shadow. The training session ended with Spark completing a particularly tricky maneuver, involving a series of leaps and tunnels. Jack knelt down, giving Spark a hug, feeling the strong heartbeat of his brave little companion. "You're going to show them all, aren't you? Let's go make a statement," Jack whispered, feeling ready to face whatever the competition held. They walked back to their quarters under the stars, ready for a restful night before the big day. The challenge was set, and they were prepared to meet it head-on. The day of the intergalactic pet competition had finally arrived, casting a buzz of excitement and tension through the air. The sprawling venue on Grixar was abuzz with competitors and spectators from across the galaxy, each eager to witness the extraordinary display of interspecies talent and capability. Jack Harlow and Spark entered the bustling competition grounds early in the morning. The area was segmented into various arenas, each designed to test different aspects of the pet's abilities, from agility to combat prowess. Banners fluttered in the breeze, displaying the symbols of countless alien races. As they made their way to the registration booth, Jack could feel the weight of the spectators' stares, many of whom were intrigued by the small Earth puppy, trotting confidently by his side. Despite the mixed expressions of amusement and doubt, Jack's confidence in Spark never wavered. "Here to register, sir?" A friendly organizer, a plump Balorian with multiple eyes, asked as they approached the booth. "Yes, this is Spark," Jack replied, presenting the necessary identification chips and entry forms. The organizer scanned them, her eyes blinking sequentially. "Ah, an Earth canine. Quite rare in this competition. Which categories will Spark be entering?" she inquired, her tone polite yet curious. "All of them," Jack stated firmly, eliciting a surprised murmur from a nearby group of competitors. "Very well," the Balorian said, processing their registration. "Your first event will be in Arena 3, the agility course. Good luck, Jack Harlow and Spark." "Thank you," Jack responded, collecting the entry badge and leading Spark toward their designated arena. As they walked, they passed various creatures being prepped by their owners: massive furred beasts, sleek aquatic entities in portable water tanks, and even some ethereal beings shimmering in containment fields. Each was impressive in its own right, making the competition stiff and the outcomes unpredictable. Upon reaching Arena 3, Jack and Spark encountered Thraz and his associates, who were accompanied by their massive Utheran war beasts. Thraz's eyes narrowed as he spotted them, a smirk forming under his scaly cheeks. "So, you actually showed up. I hope your pet is ready to be more than just a spectacle," Thraz taunted, his voice low and mocking. Jack merely smiled, patting Spark gently. "We're ready. May the best pet win." "Indeed," Thraz replied, his tone suggesting he doubted that best pet could be Spark. The agility course was a complex setup of hurdles, ramps, tunnels, and smart obstacles that adapted to the contestants' size and speed. As Jack and Spark took their position at the start line, the announcer, a vibrant Macarian with a booming, modulated voice, began introducing Spark to the crowd. "Ladies, gentlemen, and beings of all configurations, presenting the sole Earth representative, Spark and his owner Jack Harlow." A ripple of polite applause washed over the arena, mixed with a fair amount of curious murmuring. Jack crouched beside Spark, whispering words of encouragement as he clipped on the lightweight performance harness. "You know what to do, buddy, just like we practiced. Show them what you've got," Jack encouraged, feeling Spark's energy buzzing through his fur. As the starting signal chimed, Spark shot forward with surprising speed. The crowd's murmurs turned to exclamations of astonishment as the tiny puppy nimbly maneuvered through the course, his movements precise and swift. Jack ran alongside the edge of the arena, guiding Spark with commands and hand signals, their synergy clear to all watching. By the end of the course, Spark had not only completed the challenges, but had done so with a flair that left the audience in awe. Even some of the skeptics in the stands couldn't help but applaud the spirited performance. Jack scooped Spark into his arms, beaming with pride as they took a bow. Regardless of the outcome, they had made their mark, proving that size was no measure of heart or capability. As they exited the arena, even Thraz was silent, his earlier smugness replaced by a begrudging respect. This unexpected display set the tone for the rest of the competition. Jack and Spark were no longer underdogs, they were contenders. The commencement of the Intergalactic Pet Competition's trials marked a pivotal moment for all participants, but none more so than Jack Harlow and his puppy Spark. Following their unexpected success in the agility course, anticipation was high for their performance in the remaining events. The competition's second challenge took place in a large, dome-shaped arena equipped for an advanced intelligence test. Jack and Spark arrived to find the venue filled with a variety of puzzles and problem-solving apparatuses, each designed to evaluate the pet's cognitive abilities. As they prepared, Jack adjusted Spark's collar and leaned down to whisper encouragement. "You're smarter than they know, buddy. Let's show them." The first test involved a series of holographic mazes. Each pet was required to navigate the maze virtually, making decisions at critical junctions to find the quickest route to the center. The Utherin war beasts, with their inherent predatory instincts, were expected to excel at this by relying on their natural hunting strategies. When Spark's turn came, Jack activated the small interface device attached to Spark's collar. The puppy's eyes focused intently on the shifting holographic walls as he navigated the maze with surprising deliberation and accuracy. Spark's decisions were quick and purposeful, his small form darting through the virtual corridors until he reached the center in record time. Murmurs of approval rippled through the crowd, many of whom were astonished at the Earth puppy's intellectual prowess. Jack's heart swelled with pride. Spark wasn't just competing, he was excelling. The next event was a language comprehension test, where each pet had to respond to commands given in various intergalactic languages. This test was particularly challenging, given the diversity of languages and dialects represented in the competition. As the alien commands echoed through the arena's sound system, Spark tilted his head, listening intently. At each command, whether it was a simple sight, in the rolling rumbles of Utherin speech, or a fetch, in the high-pitched rapid clicks of the Aquilid language, Spark responded correctly, his actions swift and unfaltering. Thraz, who watched from the sidelines with his associates, could no longer hide his surprise. "It seems the Earthling has taught his pet more than tricks," he conceded grudgingly to his companions. The final trial of the day was a combat simulation designed to test each pet's strategic thinking and defensive maneuvers. The arena was set up with non-lethal obstacles and replicator drones that mimicked predator attacks. While the larger, more aggressive creatures were favored to dominate this trial, Spark's size and agility presented a unique advantage. As the drones descended, mimicking the attack patterns of top galactic predators, Spark maneuvered through the arena with astonishing agility. He used the obstacles not only to hide, but also to misdirect the drones into colliding with each other. His understanding of timing and space within the combat scenario impressed even the seasoned trainers among the spectators. By the end of the trials, it was clear that Spark was not merely participating. He was setting a new standard for what many had thought possible from an Earth canine. The crowd, once doubtful, now cheered enthusiastically for the tiny, unassuming hero who was rapidly becoming a favorite. Jack, holding Spark close after the day's events, felt a mix of relief and exhilaration. "We're more than just underdogs now, aren't we?" he murmured to Spark, who responded with a happy bark. Their success in the day's trials had not only exceeded expectations, but had also earned them a spot in the final rounds of the competition. As they exited the arena, the respect from fellow competitors was palpable. Spark had proven himself a formidable contender, changing perceptions one event at a time. The following day, the competition moved into its most advanced rounds, testing not only the physical and intellectual capabilities of the pets, but also their adaptability and resilience. For Jack and Spark, it was another chance to defy expectations and further cement their status as serious contenders. As competitors and their pets gathered for the day's first event, Jack could feel the intensity in the air. Today's challenges would be the toughest yet. He looked down at Spark, whose keen eyes reflected a readiness and eagerness to tackle whatever came their way. The first event of the day was the adaptation test, designed to see how well pets could adjust to sudden environmental changes. The arena transformed before their eyes, with panels shifting to simulate different planetary conditions, ranging from the icy tundra of Phrygia to the scorching sands of Solara. Spark, being an Earth dog, was not naturally suited for extreme conditions, but Jack had prepared him with special gear and training. As the temperatures dropped to simulate the Phrygia environment, Spark donned a thermal coat that Jack fitted snugly around him. Despite the cold, Spark maneuvered through the icy obstacles, retrieving items and completing tasks with shivering yet determined precision. Next, the arena shifted to the intense heat of Solara. Spark's coat was quickly exchanged for cooling pads. With the same determination as before, he navigated the heated sands, skillfully avoiding heat traps and using shaded areas to his advantage. His performance not only demonstrated his adaptability, but also Jack's foresight in preparing him for such diverse conditions. The audience, initially skeptical, watched in awe as the tiny Earth puppy managed each environment with apparent ease. Whispers of admiration spread through the crowd, with many alien spectators nodding appreciatively at the unexpected prowess of the small creature. The second event was the teamwork trial, which required pets to collaborate with a randomly assigned partner from another species. This test was crucial, emphasizing cooperation and communication across species barriers. Spark was paired with a Juvian shade leaper, a creature known for its silent movements and shadowy form. Jack watched anxiously as Spark and the shade leaper met for the first time. Initial interactions were cautious, but Spark's friendly demeanor soon won over the leaper. Together, they tackled the course, Spark taking the lead with tasks that required more direct manipulation, while the shade leaper used its ability to traverse shadows to bypass obstacles that were impassable for Spark. Their cooperative effort was seamless, a dance of light and shadow, each respecting the other's strengths. By the end of the trial, they had not only completed the course, but had done so with a score that placed them among the top pairs. Thraz, who had been watching from the sidelines, approached Jack as the crowd cheered for the successful teams. His expression was unreadable at first, but he soon extended a hand, a rare gesture from an Uthoran. "Your Spark is full of surprises, Jack Harlow," Thraz admitted, his voice grudging with respect. "I did not expect such versatility from an Earth pet." Jack accepted the handshake, feeling a surge of pride. "Thank you, Thraz. He's got a lot of heart." As the day concluded, Jack and Spark's consistent performances had turned the tide of public opinion firmly in their favor. What began as a participation for the sake of dignity had blossomed into a genuine contention for the title. Jack knew that the final event of the competition would be their biggest challenge yet, but with Spark by his side, he felt ready for anything. Their journey had become a testament to the bond between human and pet, proving that courage and intelligence could indeed triumph over brute strength and size. The atmosphere was electric as competitors and spectators gathered for the final event of the intergalactic pet competition. The grand arena was filled with an air of anticipation, and Jack felt a mixture of nerves and excitement as he prepared Spark for their most crucial performance yet. This event, the Strategic Evasion and Rescue Mission, was designed to test each pet's ability to navigate complex obstacles, evade capture, and ultimately rescue their owner from a simulated danger zone. As Jack and Spark awaited their turn, they watched as other contestants tackled the course. Some of the galaxy's fiercest and most intelligent creatures struggled with the intricacies of the maze and the cunning traps it contained, underscoring the challenge that lay ahead. "Remember, buddy, it's just like the games we play back on the ship. Just a lot bigger," Jack whispered to Spark, offering a gentle pat to reassure the small puppy. Spark responded with a soft bark, his tail wagging with a confidence that bolstered Jack's spirits. Finally, their names were announced over the loudspeaker, and a hush fell over the crowd. Jack took his position at the designated trapped area within the maze, while Spark was released at the start point, several meters away with numerous obstacles between them. The maze was a dense network of walls, moving platforms, and intermittent blasts of harmless but disorienting light, meant to simulate laser fire. Spark paused momentarily at the start, orienting himself with a few sniffs and glances, then darted forward into the maze. Using a combination of the commands they had practiced and his natural instincts, Spark navigated the first section with impressive speed, dodging moving walls that threatened to push him off course. His small size allowed him to slip through gaps that larger animals couldn't, turning what seemed a disadvantage into his greatest asset. The crowd began to murmur with excitement as Spark approached the more challenging part of the maze, the laser grid. This area was designed to simulate a high-security zone, with sensors triggering light barriers at random intervals. Spark approached, hesitated for a split second, then darted through during a brief pause in the lasers, his timing impeccable. Meanwhile, Jack watched anxiously from his position, relying on the monitors scattered around the area to track Spark's progress. He could hear the crowd reacting to Spark's maneuvers, each successful pass through an obstacle drawing cheers and gasps. As Spark reached the final section, the rescue operation, he found himself facing a simulated river with only a few narrow planks to serve as bridges. Here, balance was key. Spark's small paws tread carefully, his body swaying with each tentative step. Midway across, a plank wobbled dangerously, causing a collective gasp from the audience. With a delicate but determined leap, Spark regained his balance and continued across, reaching the other side where Jack was trapped, under a light net. With a sharp bark, Spark activated the release mechanism they had practiced, freeing Jack. The arena erupted in applause as Jack scooped Spark into his arms, both of them taking a bow. The display of intelligence, agility, and the undeniable bond between human and pet had won the hearts of everyone watching. Thraz approached them once more, this time with a genuine smile. "Jack Harlow, your Spark has not only completed the challenge, but has done so with a spirit worthy of legend. You have our respect, and more importantly, you have our friendship," he declared, extending his hand once again. Jack accepted, feeling an overwhelming sense of pride and joy. "Thank you, Thraz. It means a lot to us." As the results were announced, it came as no surprise that Jack and Spark were declared the winners of the competition. The victory was sweet, not just for the title, but for the recognition and respect they had earned from across the galaxy. Spark, the tiny Earth puppy, had proven that heart and intelligence could triumph in a universe where might was often seen as right. The conclusion of the intergalactic pet competition brought not just victory to Jack Harlow and his tiny Earth puppy Spark, but also a new level of respect and admiration from species across the galaxy. The closing ceremony was vibrant, filled with the colors and sounds of 100 worlds, celebrating the unity and diversity that the event showcased. As the winners, Jack and Spark stood at the forefront of the celebration, the golden trophy gleaming in Jack's hand as confetti rained down around them. Jack looked over at Spark, who sat proudly at his feet, seemingly aware of his accomplishments. Thraz and his associates were among the first to congratulate them, their earlier skepticism replaced by genuine warmth. "Your little Spark has opened many eyes today, including ours," Thraz said, a broad smile stretching across his reptilian features. "The courage and wisdom of a creature are not measured by size, and that is a lesson well delivered by you both." Jack nodded, grateful for the words. "Thank you, Thraz. It's been an honor competing with such formidable opponents. Spark and I have learned a lot from all of you." As the festivities continued, various participants from different planets approached Jack to learn more about Earth and its creatures. Jack found himself talking about Earth's diverse ecosystems and the many animals that thrived there, sparking curiosity and wonder among his listeners. The event organizers, impressed by the turnout and the competition's impact, pulled Jack aside to discuss future plans. "Jack, this competition has brought together so many from across the stars," one organizer, a gentle Vorn from a distant aquatic world, mentioned. "We'd like to invite you and Spark to be ambassadors for next year's event to help spread the message of unity and understanding between species." Jack was taken aback, honored by the offer. "We'd be delighted to participate. Spark seems to have a knack for bringing folks together, and I think we've got a lot more to share." As the celebration wound down, Jack and Spark took a quiet walk around the now empty competition grounds. The echoes of laughter and cheers still hung in the air, a stark contrast to the silence that now enveloped the arena. "Buddy, we did more than just compete, didn't we?" Jack said softly to Spark, who wagged his tail in response. We changed some minds today, showed them what Earthlings can do. Back at their accommodation, Jack packed up their belongings, preparing for the journey back to Earth. The trophy was safely stowed away, but for Jack, the real prize was the experience and the doors it had opened for him and Spark. As their ship lifted off from Grixar, Jack looked out the window, watching as the planet shrunk away. He felt a profound sense of accomplishment and excitement about what lay ahead. With Spark resting by his side, he knew this was just the beginning of many more adventures. The universe was vast, filled with endless opportunities and mysteries to explore. For Jack and Spark, their journey had not only bridged worlds, but had also set the stage for a future where the smallest among us could inspire the biggest changes. The stars awaited, and they were ready.